If you're in Singapore, we're aware that Binance is probably one of, if not the most popular exchange that people use, but it's not licensed by MAS, the Monetary Authority of Singapore, and only a handful are. An MAS license doesn't make an exchange risk-free, but it does hold them to stricter standards on how your money is protected and managed. So let's go through a few of the ones that are regulated. Starting local, there's Coinhako. It's been around since 2014, making it one of the oldest Singaporean platforms, and it was also one of the first to get a full license from MAS. Getting started on the app or web is straightforward. Instead of filling out forms and uploading documents, you can just log in with SingPass, and your details are pulled in automatically. Most people get verified in a few minutes. Once you're in, topping up is easy. You can fund your account with SGD through Pay Now or Fast Bank Transfer. That gives you access to trade over 130 tokens on the exchange, and they've also recently added limit orders, so you can set the price you want and let the trade run automatically, and recurring buys if you want to dollar cost average without logging in every time. These limit orders and recurring buys come with a 0.5% fee, a bit lower than the 0.6 on normal trades. You'll also incur a flat $2 fee when withdrawing SGD. It's worth noting that Coinhako doesn't publish a public proof of reserves. So unlike some global platforms, you don't get that extra third-party confirmation of customer balances. That said, Coinhako works best if all you want is a simple way to buy Bitcoin and a few other coins and the peace of mind of using a locally licensed platform. But if you're after an exchange with a broader set of features, the next option to consider is Coinbase. Not that it needs much of an introduction, but Coinbase is the biggest US exchange, and since 2023, it's also been fully licensed in Singapore. Now, we've seen how Coinhako keeps things basic. Coinbase, on the other hand, gives you a choice. You can stick with a simple setup or switch to advanced trade with full order books, trading view charts, and more order types. The token lineup is wider too, more than 200 assets compared to Coinhako's 130. And just like Coinhako, onboarding is smooth. With SingPass, you can be verified in minutes, and from there, deposits and withdrawals in SGD run straight through Pay Now or Fast Bank Transfers. When it comes to fees, the two modes make a big difference. If you're using the simple interface, you'll pay a spread plus a transaction fee, which usually works out higher than what you'd see on other licensed exchanges. If you switch to advanced trade, the fees drop to 0.6% for takers and 0.4% for makers, with further discounts if you trade larger volumes. Beyond trading, if you hold USDC, you can earn around 4% yield. This yield can be boosted through their paid plan, Coinbase One, which starts at about 50 Singaporean dollars a year, which on top of better rewards gives you 0 trading fees up to a cap, account protection, and priority support. Coinbase doesn't publish proof of reserves, at least not in the user verifiable Merkle tree style that some other exchanges use, but as a public company, it does file audited financial statements. If you want another global name with just as many products, you can look at Crypto.com. They're also fully licensed in Singapore, but what makes them stand out is their Visa card. It lets you spend your crypto like cash in Singapore. The card itself comes in different tiers. The higher the tier, the more CRO you have to lock up, and you get cash back paid in their token whenever you spend. The catch is that ATM withdrawals are not supported within Singapore. Just like Coinbase, Crypto.com really has two modes. The main app is beginner friendly. You can deposit or withdraw Singapore dollars easily through Fast and buy or sell with a couple of taps. The trade-off is that prices there include a spread, which makes it more expensive. If you care about tighter pricing, that is where the Crypto.com exchange comes in. It gives you a full order book with lower maker and taker fees, and you can move funds between the app and the exchange instantly and for free. The token coverage is broad, over 400 supported, which means you'll find more niche altcoins here than on Coinhako or Coinbase. Crypto.com also offers on-chain staking, liquid staking, and DeFi staking, but MAS rules mean those are restricted to accredited investors in Singapore. Security-wise, they run a proof of reserves portal, so you can check assets yourself. It's worth noting that they did suffer a major hack in early 2022, over 30 million US dollars lost, though they reimburse users and claim to have upgraded their security since. Okay, then we have Upbit Singapore, which keeps it simple, focusing only on being a reliable fiat gateway. Upbit started in Korea, where it's the biggest exchange in the country, and in early 2023, its Singapore branch secured a full license from MAS. Onboarding and deposits are just as smooth as the other exchanges. You'll find SGD pairs for Bitcoin, ETH, USDT, Sol, and XRP. In terms of trust, Upbit Singapore is fully regulated here, but it does carry some baggage from its Korean roots. In 2019, hackers stole over 300,000 ETH from the Korean exchange, and the company has also faced regulatory investigations there. And unlike Coinbase or Crypto.com, Upbit doesn't publish a proof of reserves audit, so you don't get that extra layer of transparency. Last but not least, there's OKX, and this one's worth a look if low trading fees are a priority for you. OKX got its full MAS license at the end of 2024, and so, like the others, it supports SGD funding, and you'll find the usual SGD pairs for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and USDT. The token list here is smaller than their global site, but still broad, around 80 coins in Singapore. But the real draw here is cost. Spot trading starts at 0.1% for makers and 0.2% for takers, making it one of the cheapest licensed platforms around. High volume traders or anyone holding their OKB token can push fees even lower. By design, MAS keeps things tight on retail products, so in Singapore, OKX is limited to spot trading. Staking and earn are available, but only if you qualify as an accredited investor. On the trust side, OKX is one of the few that publishes regular proof of reserves, and you can verify the numbers yourself. Finally, a quick mention for Gemini. While they don't have an MAS license, they have in-principle approval, so the user experience is pretty smooth. You sign up with SingPass, deposit SGD with Pay Now or fast transfers, but if you buy on the main app, you'll pay a steep convenience spread. To avoid that, just flip over to Active Trader, where fees are 0.2% for makers and 0.4% for takers, and they drop with volume. And that's the rundown on Singapore's licensed exchanges. If you tried any of them, let us know which ones work best for you.